I do so love it when a bunch of idiots who it's pretty obvious don't know what they're talking about, but then pretend like they do and use very dumb arguments to back up their point. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I remember doing. If you remember my video talking about the whole Wendigoon praise and shadows situation, I talked briefly. Well, not briefly, but I did talk about the situation. There's one thing I forgot to mention though about this idiot. Not only did he try to basically turn people against Wendigo and say he should be shunned from society for having a different political view, which, by the way, not only is that stupid, but that is a harsher punishment than even criminals, convicted murderers get. But this guy tried to argue in his video, and I actually didn't realize this till one day I saw a clip of it again. He also tried to argue that creativity is more left wing and then cited certain authors. Two of these authors he cited as queer were H.P. Lovecraft and Mary Shelley. Now, even if creativity was left wing, like say hypothetically it was, which by the way it isn't, it's neutral as far as I'm concerned. Even if it was, why would them being queer be involved? Forget the fact that Lovecraft's politics came with German subtitles sometimes. Then again, this guy was somewhat was at least open to socialism. Then again, he was conservative. But like the thing about Lovecraft, he was at least open minded. Like whatever you have been told about Lovecraft, he was not this narrow minded idiot. He was actually very open minded. The second science didn't back up his beliefs, he discarded them, from what I remember. But he was not queer. In fact, was married. He went to his dying days loving his wife. I think he didn't officially sign the divorce papers he sent her either, or she sent him. So yeah, no, sorry, sorry, douchebag du jour with the shitty hipster porno mustache. You're wrong. But even if these people were this thing, yeah, no, that still wouldn't connote left wing because I'm pretty sure there are people who are queer who are conservative. Actually, that would not surprise me. I'm pretty sure I've seen a few transsexuals or people who are transitioning who are still very much right wing. Hell, I at least know one gay guy from South Africa who's very conservative. In fact, like I used to think I was going insane. Like I thought I was becoming racist until I met this guy. Like, oh no, I'm perfectly sane. In fact, if it wasn't for the fact I knew this guy was black, I would think he was a white supremacist. And Kat, if you're seeing this, God bless you, man. God bless you for restoring my sanity. But anyway, um, creativity, I would say, is not politically aligned. Like creativity is not like a patron from a goddess that gives you like that bequeaths you something for your alignment. Creativity exists in everyone. Hell, it technically existed in hacks like Ebert. It's just he didn't do much with it. Although I will give Ebert this, at least he did some with his life besides bitching and moaning. He at least tried. And everyone is capable of creative. It's just, and especially now, if you are not of a certain political persuasion, it is proven that, or at least more than likely, the lefties will fuck with you at every opportunity. Like you could be a, I'm blanking on the black guy's name. There was this one City Portier. You could be like a singer, like you could do everything, and these people will still bitch and moan at you. So I say fuck it, but that's besides the point. Like Lovecraft was may have been socialist like, but he was still very conservative. Tolkien, motherfucking Tolkien was conservative. Like seriously, this man believed that once men and women were adults, they were no longer capable of being just friends. Which kind of sounds dumb to me, but then again, he came from a very different time, and he came from a very better generation that was smarter than mine. Especially this guy came from the pre-boomers. Of course, he was smarter. But anyway, or Blaine Pardoe. Blaine Pardoe, a man who has worked in BattleTech for decades, who engaged with the fandom and all this shit, who, funny enough, the lefties just tried to slander and basically caused to eventually no longer be associated with BattleTech for bullshit reasons because they lied about him through their teeth. And by the way, lefties who did this, if you happen to hear this, go fuck yourselves, you insufferable cunts. There's them. Like, conservatives have had an impact in culture. It's just not as frequent as you hear. And Tolkien is like the prime example. Like, motherfucking Tolkien. This man, Jesus Christ, he laid the foundation of what is considered modern fantasy. And I consider people who emulate Tolkien kind of hacks because they always copy and paste and they don't try to do anything. Like, at least Michael Moorcock tried to make up new things. That's why I like Elder Scrolls. They did both. They did both Tolkien and Michael Moorcock, but that's beside the point. Um, so creativity is not. politically adjacent. It goes either way. It's just people just try to claim things like they have ownership, which, by the way, douchebags, you don't. This is like certain groups saying they own certain words, like the gay community saying they own the word faggot. Like, no, you don't. You do not own that, or fairy, because like lots of words have been associated with the gay community. I get annoyed with that. Like when Tolkien was like writing his stuff, someone told him he might want to reconsider using fairy because it's being associated with gays. One he's like, fuck that, I'm gonna use what I want. Fuck that noise. Which, yeah, or black. Like if you say black magic, I'm pretty sure there's some idiot there who's going to assume it involves brown people. Like, no, motherfucker, black magic, the dark arts, used to literally involve just magic that was evil. Jesus Christ. Like, really, if like I find it kind of annoying how people are like this. Like, it's almost like they're defined by their politics. Like, and I don't know what image I give people based on my politics, but mine have been were dormant up until 2017. Like after 2008 or 9, mine went dormant for the most part. So a lot of my day was spent just enjoying life and writing. So I've been good at I've done an okay job as writing, not because of my politics, but because I was at least trying to learn and adapt and improve. Politics had no factor whatsoever. And considering it's one side, and considering the people from that side of the aisle who claim that are usually the most talentless douchebags under the sun, I'm not too surprised. But yeah, Tolkien, like this man was a polymath and a polyglot. This motherfucker, this British motherfucker, he knew so many fucking languages. It is not even funny. Like I get headaches trying to just imagine knowing all those languages. Like the only like a few of the languages he knows I've tried learning, and I about wanted to blow my brains out trying to learn them, like Old English and Aramaic. But that's beside the point, and I'm digressing. Politics does not define creativity. Creativity can sometimes be influenced by the views of a person. Like Lovecraft is a good example. Some of his work had his politics bleed into it a little bit, but more, I would say more of his life experience bled into it, like his fear of everything, like the night gaunts. Like the only reason those things exist is because he had a nightmare about them. Same with Nyarlathotep, the crawling chaos. Like this man took his the miserable experiences of life and channeled it into his work, and honestly, that's good therapy. Like, I think Sylvester Stallone said it best in the Milius documentary. Really good writing is often autobiographical, but it's like at least covered up, like it's hidden. Unlike most of the douchebags who get work now they don't even try to hide it. Like Tom King, I remember back when I just started reading the was it Mr. Strange, the guy who was involved in Apocalypse and New Genesis, who I think lived with Apocalypse for a while. Like I learned about Tom King how insufferable he was, like how he used it to cope with his own, I guess, neurosis. Like now they don't try to hide it. At least back then they tried to make it neutral. They tried to conceal the fact that it involves some of their personal experiences. Like Lovecraft again, there's a line from The Outsider, one of the Lovecraft stories I've listened to in audio form. That's really fucking good, by the way. Where he goes, "I know always that I am an outsider, a stranger among this century and those who are still called men." And Lovecraft, this defines Lovecraft because Lovecraft he loved the generations before him. Like this man read the works of Edgar Allan Poe and Alexander Pope and wanted to be like them. He wished he could have met them. So yeah, that worked perfectly based his feeling of being an outsider. Like he was not the most social, and also he did not get along with people his own age growing up. I think he said something effective once like, "I resented the kids my age and they resented me. I found the company of adults way more engaging." Was more or less what he said in the audio biography from what I've been reading, or the two-parter. Um, anyway, I'm digressing. Sorry. But yeah, like none of this had to do with his politics though. Like the politics are politics are asinine. They're ass, especially in this day and age where everyone is like, you're either left or right. I say fuck them both for the record. Like I'll vote a certain way when they say something I agree with, but beyond that, no, fuck them. The left and the right are not my friends. The second it's convenient for them, they will gladly mistake my back for a dirk holster or a bastard sword holster. I'm not sure which is worse. So yeah, no, praise and shouts, you're full of shit. Go fuck yourself. And anyone who tells me, and also anyone who says this whole all all creativity is political. No, it isn't. No, it fucking. I mean, really, look at Conan the Barbarian or Solomon Kane. Tell me what aspect of this is political in the modern sense. That doesn't sound like it's being where it doesn't sound like you're wedging in and hand fisting your own political BS. Like Solomon Kane is just the story of a man choosing good over evil or neutrality, choosing to do good. Like that's more of a moral message, if anything. Be a good person, and or like the close, like even the Elric saga, which was made by Malcolm Moorcock, which who by the way was an anarchist and more or less a libtard, like a lefty who also bitched about Lovecraft. Like his Elric saga was like one of the few things he made, probably the only thing he made that, from what I know, that was not suffused with political BS. Like not everyone is an Alan Moore, but then again, not all of us want to be tree beards who look butthurt and mad all the time that people don't blow them all the time, and that people misunderstood his Rorschach is taking the piss out of Steve Ditko, but that felt like a bitch, didn't it, Alan Moore? You tree beard little bitch. But sorry, what was I? Oh yeah, not all of us have like hacks are the people who make the story. Like I remember Albert Maltz. Like if you want to read this for yourself, read What Shall We Ask of Writers by Albert Maltz. And to those who say he later recanted this, yeah, that was after the Communist Party of America raked him over the coals and humiliated him. Before that, he had no incentive to recant. But he basically said, and I want you to bear this in mind, Albert Maltz, a commie, a man who wove literal Lenin worship into his works, would find this argument to be the argument of hacks. Like he would look at the modern writers of the comic book industry and the movie, like the J.J. Abrams and the Ruin Johnsons and all them who suffuse politics. He would look at them and go, "You're a fucking hack." Like he would look at them the way that I look at J.J. Abrams. I see, and I think that's where I'm going to end the day. Although there is one thing I forgot to say at the beginning, though. There's one more funny thing that I forgot to say at the beginning that I found amusing. Um, or I think I didn't say it in my video on the subject of Wendigo and that shadow guy. I think I said he was a bread tuber or a commie. I later found out from my buddy Dan, he's not even that. Like, he's even beneath the bread tubers. Like, okay, Praise and Shadows or whatever, he is to bread tubers what. Oh, hang on. In Praise from Shadows, he is to the bread tubers what Bad Reboot is to Bad Robot. This is a hack so bad that even the hacks of a corporation founded by the mother of all hacks, Jar Jar Abrams, said, "You fucking suck." That's basically what Praise and Shadow is. I found that funny. And I forgot to mention, anyway, that's the video. Have a nice day. And remember, the game was rigged from the start. And don't be a hack. God's sake, it's not that hard.